Hello everybody and welcome back to Formula Virtual Racing. We are here once again for Season 8. You had a black screen on your screen for a moment. I forgot to enable my capture card, but we are here this evening for what should be an absolute cracker around Spa-Francorchamps. Last week, of course, we had a fabulous Singaporean Grand Prix. Liam Houseman taking his second win in his Formula Virtual Racing career and his second race victory in a row. We should have an absolute cracker here in Spa-Francorchamps with the championship building up very nicely. Joining me for this evening, as always, it is Brendan. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. We're at Spa-Francorchamps, one of my favourite circuit on the Formula 1 calendar, and always one where overtakes are plentiful on the game at least, and it is also a big challenge for the drivers. Longest circuit, around 7 kilometres, or just under if you take the right line, which would be 6.999. It means you don't get many attempts here to get the lap, so if you can get some on board early, it'll be a good start, and some drivers already in that mindset. Get out early, try and go and do some laps.
Yeah, out early, try to get a lap in. Spa qualifying is normally a very interesting one because any mistake can cost you greatly. But we are out on track now. We're currently looking at Borbune, who is going to get us set and get us going here in the Ardennes Forest for the Belgian Grand Prix. Borbune, a driver who typically runs pretty well at the Belgian Grand Prix. Spa-Francorchamps is quite a messy circuit on Formula 1 games, that is for sure, and in terms of league racing it is pretty messy, as there's normally a little bit of chaos, normally a few safety cars. Of course, we had the last lap battle last season between Lewis McWilliam and Legend Rosenberg. That was an absolute belter. And season before we had the rain, where nobody knew really what tyres to go on. Of course, rain, we've had rain in quite a few Belgian Grand Prix. It's usually a very, very wet race. Of course, the Ardennes region of Spa, where we are, or the Ardennes region where Spa is, experiences the highest annual rainfall of anywhere in Belgium, and it rained in the Belgian Grand Prix for 20 years in a row. Borbune is getting us going in qualifying. Sam Davis has joined. Contrary to popular belief, he is here for the race, and he will be in the Haas alongside Borbune for this evening. But the Dutchman is going to get us going in his neighbouring nation, up that famous Eau Rouge and in towards Ration corner. Two absolute excellent corners, and somewhere where we can get drama. We can get a couple of collisions, we can even get some possible overtakes, but heading down in towards the Les Combes chicane of 7, and then in towards 8 and in towards 9. It's not a bad lap so far for Borbune. But quickly to get us started here, we're going to run through our championship standings. It is Lewis McWilliam who leads with 73 over Liam Houseman on 56, but that gap seems quite big. It is not really, because Liam Houseman is the one with all the momentum, and he is looking to try possibly challenge for the championship. It's then Thomas Main in third, Luke Davies in fourth, Jake Marsh fifth, Tyler Davison, Liam Angelo, Carrick, Vesta Badi, Sam Crumpton and Borbune rounds out the top 10. Of course, we'll keep reminding you of our championship standings before we came to Spa, and that is Borbune who's gone round, unfortunately. And that's unlucky for Borbune. He didn't validate his lap time, I believe, as there is quite a few. Tim Den Heyer, who is in the Ferrari for this evening, replacing Jake Marsh, who's been on quite a good run of form as of recent, as Brendan picked up in Singapore. He scored podiums twice this season, but Tim Den Heyer is on a lap, and now he is, oh no, sorry, I'm just reading the comments. What has Kyle and Sam Davis done now? Seemingly there was a loud noise on the stream. I can only apologise for that, because Sam and Kyle always are in game chat.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, that's Tim round at the same point. That is Tim round at the same point on the circuit. There is Dan Schaefers who gets the first lap in of the evening. It's going to be Yuri Wessels who crossed the line next, but no representative time for him. Luke Davies then sets the new fastest time at a 1:43.2. That's a much better lap than Dan Schaefers, but on the board, McWilliam then to the line. He's only going to go second, just behind Luke Davies. Singaporean Grand Prix qualifying started in a very similar manner, with Davies up at the top, and it looks like he is the one to set the pace once again here in Spa-Francorchamps. Next across the line, it's going to be Vestigo Badi, I believe. Oh no, it's going to be one of the AlphaTauris. It's going to be Sam Crumpton here. And that's even gone closer. That's split Davies and McWilliam. There goes Tim Den Heyer across the line.
Oh, that's a beautiful slipstream game being played here, and up to launch them on by the Alphas.
There is a slipstream tactic here. This is good for the Alfa Romeos. There goes Vestigo Badi to the top. That's a great lap from the Ukrainian, and he's put a 1:42.7. Don't think that might be beaten today, maybe. We'll see. Can Liam Houseman say something about it? Alfa Romeo with some slipstream tactics. Here comes the Dutchman then. Up to the line. He's got close. That is close but no cigar. That is really, really good lap from Liam Houseman. But Vestigo Badi just that quicker. Next to cross the start-finish line, it is going to be Kieran Spears who will start a lap. Kieran Spears, a man who has a title under his belt. Some say it's very undeserving because he was teammates with a certain Mr. Rosenberg, who was his team boss for today. So, Legend Rosenberg, team boss of McLaren for this season, of course, retired to focus on his PSGL F1 matters. But qualifying well and truly underway, and we can see the Alfa Romeos.
Yeah.
We can see Liam Houseman returning the slipstream to Liam Carrick.
This is what you call a equal team relationship. They got the same name and the same announcer slipstream from each other, so a very harmonious team relationship here, even if one name is doing better than the other this season.
Yeah, Liam Houseman's second in the championship. He's doing excellent.
Yep, and he's the only driver so far to win more than once. So it's really picking up a head of steam here, it seems like, Houseman. Although he will have to make sure he can start this, keep this form up against Lewis McWilliam, who has tended to be a very consistent results this season, generally finishing inside the top four. It's only once outside the podium.
As Brennan, I believe you do have your TV running again. There is a slight little bit of what looks like auto-tune because of the slight noise of the cars in the background, just thought I'd let you know of that. Kyle Albert's going to be joining us, which means we've one more driver in the field, one less viewer on the stream, but nevertheless, Kyle Albert will be here in a track which he's run very well at before. Liam Houseman then goes to third position. That's not Liam Houseman, Liam Carrick, apologies. Liam Houseman is in second position. Liam Carrick goes to third position. Next across the line, that is going to be Kieran Spears, who goes to seventh position. That's a alright lap from Kieran Spears on the mediums. It's lowest of the proper time runners, but he does have Dan Schaefer's and Tim Den Heyer behind. Tim is a Dutchman reserving in a Ferrari. Last man Dutchman to reserve for Ferrari was a certain Jarno Bervoets, who ran absolutely excellently around the Azerbaijani streets and Albert Park. He had a great run there, so big things expected from Den Heyer as Adrian Teiche heads in towards the bus stop chicane. Let's see what lap this is from the Canadian. He's ran absolutely excellently in recent weeks. Don't think it's going to be up there. It is going to be behind Kieran Spears, and that's probably not a representation of Adrian's pace for this evening.
Probably not quite a representation, although there will be more chances for Adrian to rectify this. Well, at the moment, it would look like a lack of pace, but so it's still 9 minutes, more than enough time. They have some deficit on the actually invalid lap there. Sorry, but Seb Millsy is on the lap, and I believe he was happy enough with his pace here yesterday in FVR, although the result didn't really reflect that.
Yeah, the good qualifying did Seb Mills, and the Alpine is heading down towards the Lake Combe chicane of turn 7, 8 and then of course there is the turn 9 corner, which name I can't think of, as Mills heads through now. Malmedy, that's the name, Malmedy, as the beautiful move from Jake Marsh into Malmedy on his debut in the Williams. The other Brit, Seb Mills, looking to repeat that, although he's not on his debut, he's not in the Williams, so I don't know why I made that link in. Probably to recover from my huge blunder, but Seb Mills has made a bit of a blunder there, running wide. That's an invalid lap for the Brit, and that means there is currently, I believe, only there's no one on the time to run as of now. Seb Mills and Sam Davis are invalidating. Lewis McWilliam, Sam Crumpton heading to start another qualifying lap, and then Adrian Teiche is coming back into the pit lane. McWilliam runs wide through the bus stop, gets himself lined up, and the man who had an absolutely stunning pole lap from a very similar distance back last week is looking to maybe just repeat the feat. It would be unbelievable if he could do it, because that was a once-in-a-lifetime sort of lap from McWilliam in Singapore. It was utterly beautiful, and it was quite a perfect middle sector that set him up nicely. Through sector number 1, there won't be too much gains for the Scotsman up through here, especially on those two Alfa Romeos who helped each other and gave each other a slipstream down towards the Lake Home chicane. But maybe the second sector is where McWilliam can make up all his time. He is improving in the first sector. It says it's purple. Cannot confirm or deny if it is purple, because the game is unfortunately broken in many respects. Through Malmedy then, and heading down in towards the Bruxelles hairpin, or Brussels if you pronounce it in an Irish accent. Then in towards No Name, or now called X corner of turn 11. 12 of Pujon next. Will he run along that right hand side asphalt? No, he will not. McWilliam thinks the better of running the so-called East-West line, and round through Pujon goes the Scotsman. It's unfortunate for McWilliam, but is history repeating himself? He came from a very similar distance back last week in the final run to retake pole position, so there's still a chance for him. Sam Crumpton currently 5th. He passed out the Scotsman heading through his lap. He's heading through 13 and 14. Now in towards 15 of Stavelo, and then in towards turn 16 of Coombe Paul Frere. That's a big middle sector from Sam Crumpton. He's producing a very nice lap here. Is the Brit not been too impressive since being promoted to that AlphaTauri main seat? Although we know he has it in him with some impressive performances as a reserve, and in the Formula Virtual Racing Academy won the United States Grand Prix, and he broke Tyler Davison's win streak. That would have been 9 races, so he, I suppose, gave a bit of a breath of fresh air for our Formula Virtual Racing Academy runners. There goes Sam Crumpton, absolutely very, very close to the top. Of course, if you would like to watch Formula Virtual Racing Academy, you absolutely can.
That's Houseman round.
Oh, Liam Houseman round. If you'd like to watch Formula Virtual Racing Academy, of course you can. Live every Friday. You can tune in on the channel here, and that is at 20:30. That's Yuri Wessels then, if we head back to qualifying. That's Yuri Wessels, who's just gone to 3rd. This has gone so close right at the top again. That's an excellent lap from the Dutchman, who hasn't been league racing as much as he would like to, or hasn't been league racing as much as I suppose he used to, but that's an excellent lap from Yuri Wessels. Avesta Gobani goes even better. It's a 1:42.599 from the Ukrainian. Excellent lap from Gobadi, who's looking to try and get his championship back on track.
So not bad for Avesta Gobadi. He, I think looking at his results, obviously he had 2nd place in the first race, and then but he did have a 5th place in USA, but otherwise he hasn't been able to score that much and also participate last race. So if he can put on in some form here, a good result here, it could then start maybe a bit of a comeback for him. As last season he really did have to pace to win the championship, but circumstances prevented him from getting the chance to go for that championship. So hopefully he gets a little bit more luck this time around.
Hopefully. Thomas May not going to get a lap in on the board today, folks. The Belgian has a qualifying suspension, and he's not able to partake in qualifying due to receiving 6 driver penalty points. Thomas Main, the last winner here at Spa-Francorchamps, the man from Antwerp, who finished in 1st position. 2nd position was Luke Davies, and he had a little bit of a late charge in the championship. It was no good, unfortunately. Kyle Albert getting a cheeky message in game chat. Apologies, folks, if he said something. I can't do anything about it. I have no idea what he's saying. Actually, I can. Hold on 1 second. We'll get all these guys muted. Let's just... you can see me doing it now here on the stream, folks. We'll find Kyle Albert, and we will mute him. He is a spectator, so we can't do anything about it. This is Formula Virtual Racing at its peak, folks. As Kyle Albert will be joining us, and we will... I wonder what car will go in, because he does have a selection. He's gone for the Williams Racing to replace Glennon. And now, folks, if you just bear with us 1 moment, we're going to get the Brit muted before he spits some factual information that usually comes out of Kyle Albert. Usually comes out in a wet set of tyres as well. Hope he doesn't do that, as once again, he'll receive more penalty points. Liam Carrick starts the 2nd run of qualifying.
Meanwhile, when this is going on,
let's see what Carrick's first sector is. There's going to be no toe.
Oh no, he's already done a lap, I believe.
Oh, he has. You're not wrong. He already has done a lap.
Oh, that one would have been gone anyway because
Oh,
of
he's had a spin.
spin.
He has had a bit of a spin. Tim Den Higher is looking to try and go purple. He's 14 seconds up on his lap, but that's of course as he spun on his opener. But continued on, got a lap on the board, and he's still 11th in qualifying. We've not seen laps from Bune, Albert, Habib, McCook, Quad Hernandez and Sam Davison. We won't see anything from Thomas Main. He is now on his install lap, and he's allowed one lap, and he's utilising it very well because I believe he's giving his teammate slipstream. Let's see what Den Higher can do then as he heads across the start-finish line. Where is Tim going to go? He's going to go 8th position. Not a bad run from Tim Den Higher. Thomas Main, I appreciate the efforts from Thomas Main, however he's only allowed an in-lap. Oh, hold on a second. Liam Houseman, 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking. Not too sure where the illegal blocking is as there's no cars behind them. But Liam Houseman has picked up a penalty. Thomas Main, if he continues on and starts the next lap, he will pick up a penalty as he's only allowed one outlap and he has to pit at the end of this one. So if he continues on and gives Davies a tow, Thomas Main will be he'll be reserving his qualifying suspension next week, which I don't think he will want to do.
I just have to ask though, will he know about that?
Oh, probably not. Probably not. Luke Davies, his teammate's fairly clued up. Obviously, there'll be some communication between the two. If Thomas Main doesn't pit, then well, he's going to have to deal with things, isn't he? Liam Houseman has retired from qualifying. He wasn't going to get not Liam Houseman, Liam Carrick. I don't know why I'm muddling those two up so much this week, because I usually don't. But Liam Carrick has retired from qualifying. Wasn't going to get a lap in anyways. Thomas Main, then, is he into the pits at the end of this lap? He isn't.
No.
So that's an illegal qualifying serving, Thomas. Congratulations, sir. You've picked yourself up another qualifying suspension. Minutes ago in qualifying, and Avesta Gobadi is getting ready to possibly take his first pole position of the season. Won the Spanish Grand Prix last season. Hasn't won a race this season. He's not really been present for a good chunk of the season. And we will wait and see how this one goes. Let's see how Luke Davies' illegal tow ends up. Of course, Davies, his lap is fine. He's absolutely fine. This is maybe it's worth it if he does take pole position, but this is an absolute brilliant slipstream down into the Lacombe chicane. Main pulls off and allows Luke Davies through, and he is improving very, very greatly through the first sector, so it is working out. Yellow flag, that's for Haas through the Bruxelles hairpin. Is it Borbune or is it Sam Davis? Well, it's Borbune because Davis is out of the set. No, sorry, it is Davis. Borbune is heading into the Lacombe chicane. Luke Davies then heading through X corner and heading down in towards Pujon. We'll see what the Mercedes can do through here. Mercedes, typically a very good car around Spa-Francorchamps. And now he's looking to keep that momentum going. Heading in towards campus of turn 14. Quite a crucial corner. You don't want to spin out of it. We've seen a few spins there today. Where's Luke Davies in terms of his delta time? He's 3.5 tenths of a second up. This will put him ahead of Liam Carrick. He'll be in front of Liam Houseman anyways. Gobadi has crashed on his lap. Sylvester Gobadi's head of qualifying. Lewis McWilliam has gone second. Very close there has Lewis McWilliam. He's improved by 6 tenths of a second once again. We almost didn't even notice it. McWilliams put it right up there. What can Luke Davies do as he found 3 tenths of a second through the final sector? It's going to take a mighty sector through the bus stop chicane if he is going to get it. Across the line goes the Brit. He's going to go to fourth. Sam Crumpton side by side with what looks to be Kieran Spears. Not too sure what those two are doing as Liam Houseman is improving on his lap. What about Yuri Wessels? He's improving on his lap as well. So the top 3 are all done in qualifying. Rest of it Gobadi on pole position as it stands. Liam Houseman heading down in towards Blanchimont. Borbunes put it 8th as the Dutchman. Good lap from Borbunes, put it right up there. Here comes Liam Houseman then braking for the bus stop chicane. Of course, it was redone up and Houseman, he's round! And Crumpton's picked up a 5-place grid penalty. Liam Houseman has gone round. Adrian Teicher, he smashed into the back of a McLaren. I do hope Adrian Teicher was on the time lap and he's got a 5-place grid penalty as well. My goodness me, it's all gone wrong from a lot of people. No laps from McCook and Hernandez in the end. And that is qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix. Avesta Gobadi starts on pole position. That was a very peculiar one.
Well, multiple grid penalties and qualifying ban was not served. Well, it has been it's been a notable qualifying, if you must say so. And the best of the body has managed to top it, but just creeping into the 142.5s.
Excellent lap from Avestigo Badi. Nevertheless, that was a fabulous, fabulous run. But this will be a very, very interesting Grand Prix. We're just waiting for qualifying to come to a completion here. I've no idea what Sam Crumpton and Kieran Spears were doing. Wasn't the best showcase of sportsmanship, maybe, but certainly one has been punished for it. That is qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. That is Avestigo Badi on pole position with a qualifying time of 1 minute 42 seconds, 0.598. Lewis McWilliam will line up in second, followed by Sam Crumpton. It's then Luke Davies, Yuri Wessels, Liam Houseman, Liam Carrick, Borbune, Tim Den Heyer, Kieran Spears, Sam Davis, Adrian Taisha, not Borbune, apologies, Dan Schaefers. It's then Kyle Albert, Habib McCoo, Juan Hernandez, Thomas Main, and Seb Millsy. Very, very interesting qualifying there, folks. Kieran Spears only set a lap on the medium compound tire. Seb Mills not getting a run in at all, despite having some very good pace in yesterday's FVR race, so that's going to be disappointing for Seb.
Yep, so some people are going to be disappointed. See, the great penalty people, Compton, Liam, and Adrian, all going to drop it down. Some people are going to end up being big benefactors of this, yeah. Either way now, I believe that's his third pole position this season. He's had 5 overall, I believe.
He has, but ladies and gentlemen, we will be back in a couple of moments. Welcome back to Spa-Francorchamps, ladies and gentlemen. You can see on your screen now just a look at this circuit here in the Ardennes Forest. It is 7.004 kilometres, 4.352 miles with 20 corners. Lap record belonging to Valtteri Bottas in 2018. 49 gear changes on a lap here, about an average, and with a top speed, quite ironically, from one of the slowest Ferraris in history, from Charles Leclerc, 362 kilometres heading into the Les Combes chicane. If you're wondering why it's so fast, he did in fact have a triple slipstream, I believe, if I remember correctly. Full throttle for about 70% of the lap, with a 271 metre run from pole position to turn number 1. We head back then, ladies and gentlemen, for the on-track action, and we're here underway for the formation lap. It's Avestigo Badi, Lewis McWilliam and Luke Davies who will be the top 3 starting the Grand Prix. Hard tyres for the top 5. It's mediums then for Borbune, who gets promoted to 6th position. Sam Crumpton starts on the hard compound tyres, with Tim Den Heyer going from the softs. Kieran Spears on the mediums, followed by Sam Davis also on the mediums. Liam Houseman starts on the hard compound of tyres, who drops to 11th. Not Borbune, Don Schaefers in 12th on the mediums. Kyle Albert on the softs. It's then Habib McCook, Juan Hernandez, Thomas Main, Adrian Taisha and Seb Millsy on the hard compound tyres. Brendan, who wins this one?
Oh, it's one for Sean. Obviously, hard tyres for the top few, but maybe an early safety car might put some people into play. See Tim on the softs and also Kyle. Then you also got the Blumes, Biggie, Sam Davis on the soft, but most people go for hard, so I'd say it'll probably come down to just maybe who. If you have the straight line speed to get into a good position and then hold on, that may be the difference. Well, I would back for Avestigo Badi to maybe get that win he's been looking for this season, as it surely got to come soon enough.
Vestago has won here in Belgium before. His first Formula Virtual Racing win. Usually, and maybe this is an omen for the race, usually reserve drivers run pretty well around here. Our highest running reserve driver is currently Tim Den Heijer in 8th position. Of course, Yassine Sadfi won around here in Spa. Then, of course, Thomas Main won. We've had multiple Legend Rosenberg wins. We had that famous Tyler Davison victory back in the wet. Although it looks a very sunny afternoon here. In a circuit located, of course, in eastern Belgium, near the German border. Liège is the largest city close to it, about 3.4 kilometres northwest of the city.
We have, that was a Britain in P13 that day, and we have another one here.
We do.
So.
Kyle Albert, eat your heart out, maybe. It is Kyle Albert's day to finally take a Formula Virtual Racing victory. Still currently playing Football Manager at the same time, I believe, according to the stream chat, but that's Kyle Albert for you. Last time we visited Spa, an Alpine lined up in the final grid slot. It's Seb Mills who lines up in the final grid slot today. Not quite as impressive parking as Adrian Taisha on that day. It's an Alpine in first, it's an Alpine in last, but will it be a successful race for them? 3, 4, 5, red lights. And we go racing here in Belgium. Excellent start from one of the Alfa Romeos. Excellent start from Poor Bune. Into turn number 1, Lewis McWilliam takes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix of Vestago up the inside in towards La Source. Bit of a wobble from Gobardi. Actually, he's going to be too wide. No, McWilliam takes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. Just behind, it's a bit wobbly. Looks like it could be too wide. Den Heijer and Wessels side by side through Eau Rouge on the first lap. Yuri Wessels keeps it side by side with Tim Den Heijer on the top of Rally on yellow flags. That is Seb Mills who's gone round at the back. There's all sorts of slipstreaming here in towards Lake Combe. We don't know where to look. As Sam Davis is looking to try and make a move on Sam Crumpton. Crumpton down 2 spots to P9. Brilliant start from Dan Schaefers, who's up 4. Heading down into the Bruxelles hairpin. Looks like Borbune is going up the inside of Liam Carrick. Absolute excellent on the other compound of tyres compared to the status quo normally. And Borbune proving that once again. Round the outside through Rick's corner. Borbune's got it done. What an excellent move from the Dutchman. And he's up into the podium places. Not for the first time this season. Ran prematurely in 3rd position last week. And the Haas is running absolutely really well in the opening here of the Belgian Grand Prix. The other Haas just tucked in behind Thomas Main, the Belgian, who's up 6 positions to 10th. Your 2 largest gainers in the opening lap. Thomas Main and Juan Hernandez both up 6. Hernandez looking for some revenge after a very poor Singapore Grand Prix. Not of his own fault. He was unfortunately hit into the wall at the exit of turn 14, heading through turn 15 and 16. Lewis McWilliam, he leads the Belgian Grand Prix ahead of Avesta Gobardi. Yuri Wessels looking close to the back of Tim Den Heijer, who's up 3.
He's going for Hernandez here. I think he's catching up a lot using the VRS. However, will be catching up enough here to go for moving the bus stop.
Will it be a move into the bus stop from Main? No, does not get it done. As Borbune's gone round, and it's a mistake very early on from the Dutchman. Normally Mr. Consistent, but Borbune has gone round. Now under a lot of pressure from Luke Davies here. Davies started 3rd. He now's down Schaefers up the inside. Davies is not going to start. He wanted Schaefers catches the car. Davies now on the back of Borbune. This will be a risky send in towards Eau Rouge and Radillon. But what can Luke Davies do? The young man has been absolutely excellent from an overtaking perspective in recent history. He's going to get the run of Borbune. Outside for Davies. Inside for Bune. Davies on the worst tyres, but he has the run up the hill, and quite crucially, that does mean a lot. That's a yellow flag. That's Adrian Taisha, who's gone round at the back. That hands a position to teammate Kyle Albert, who's up into 14th position on those soft compounded tyres. Would have liked maybe a bit more, but it's been a bit of a messy start here in Belgium. Davies has the job done on Bune. Tim Den Heijer still looking to pressure Liam Carrick, but Lewis McWilliam has a 0.6 of a second gap at the front of the field.
Yeah. Avesta will want to just maybe be keeping with Lewis McWilliam and not really letting him get away like it's how it feels probably at the moment. There's a gap between them. If he could just get a bit closer, it would probably make this Grand Prix very attainable for him. Although we're gonna he might just have to bide his time and wait until pit stops come, which would probably be in the latter half of his race, given the tyre compound.
Sam Davis was all over the back of Thomas Main, heading through Stavelot in turn 16 of Coon-Paul Frere, but it's not worked out for the Haasman, and he's had a huge wiggle on the exit on the curve, and it's not worked out, and he's fallen off the back a little bit. Borbune still pressuring Luke Davies. Seb Mills picks up the first time penalty of the day. Galbardi gets close to McWilliam, and the fastest lap of the day is going to go to Liam Carrick. Will that be beaten down the field? We'll have to wait and see, but certainly a good example of what Liam Carrick can do in a Grand Prix car. Yuri Wessels picks up a 3-second time penalty. DRS will now be active for the first time. Let's see what the Alpine can do, and can he close in on the Red Bull? You can just get an example of how steep Eau Rouge really is. McWilliam in a comfortable position at the top of the Belgian Grand Prix. Almost run. That's Don Schaefers who's gone off at Eau Rouge. That is Don Schaefers who's gone off. That is the Belgian national who has gone off. And look at this, there's a lot of slipstream shenanigans here with Liam Houseman. Looks like Albert has gone through as well on Habib McCook by the looks of things. Liam Houseman looking to attack Kyle Albert here in the Williams. The Alfa Romeo, it's going to be a bit of a stretch if he was to win. That's peculiar. Kyle Albert's picked up a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. That's disappointing.
That will have to be served as well.
Yeah, will have to be served. So that's really disappointing for Kyle Albert, who's picked up a very unfair 5-second penalty. But there's not much he can do about it, unfortunately. He's now under pressure from Houseman. These soft tyres will start to drop off very soon, so we could see an early undercut from the Williams Racing man. Sam Davison is now on the back of Thomas Main, who just seems to be struggling a tad around his home circuit.
Yep, Thomas Main is, he's cooped up behind one Hernandez. One doesn't seem to be cooped up and trying to basically barge the door down to get past. It's just sitting in front of us, or behind Hernandez. And for Hernandez, if we wanted to get maybe to the back of this train, if we can, it'll be probably make his life a lot easier.
Main's teammate of Luke Davies is looking very feisty on the back of Wessels. There is a bit of a gap between Den Heijer and the leaders, so that is a bit of a schism between the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari. Luke Davies then, is he going to tee up Yuri Wessels up Eau Rouge and rally on? Davies has never traditionally ran too well around Spa, neither has his teammate, apart from last season, of course, where they finished 1-2. It was very peculiar circumstances that they did finish 1-2 in, but it was certainly a well-deserved 1-2. No 1-2 finish in Formula Virtual Racing, I believe, since then. Houseman's past Albert. Yuri Wessels is looking on Tim Den Heijer. There's no joy for Davies or Wessels. Oh no, hold on a second. Den Heijer's run wide. Wessels fancies it round the outside. We saw a very early move from Borbune here through this corner. Wessels just has to vacate the circuit, and now he's Davies right on his back. Is Luke Davies going to try around the outside through Pujon? No, he's not. Wessels runs wide though. He might look for it maybe into the Campos chicane. Sam Davison picks up a 30-second time penalty early on here in the Grand Prix, and Tim Den Heijer in 4th position is really backing these guys up. Wessels just gets close to the rear wing of the Scuderia Ferrari, 3 very historic teams in Formula Virtual Racing history. McLaren, Ferrari and Mercedes in Formula 1 history as well, but Den Heijer is looking very vulnerable down the back straight and into towards turn 17 of Blanchimont and turn 18. He's really looking vulnerable, is Tim Den Heijer. Maybe on the brakes into the bus stop chicane. Those tyres have fallen off. Here comes Yuri Wessels. It's going to be laid down. No, it's not. I thought he would have gone for it. Wessels did not go up the inside. And now he's just maybe going to wait for the DRS, although this is backing everybody up behind, and this is really causing a big loss of time. Looks like Spears has got past Sam Davis as Brendan talks over me once again. Borbune gets up the inside of Juan Hernandez.
I think Hernandez was going for the outside move because it didn't really work. However, he may be able to go for it here if maybe he gets the...
Yuri Wessels has almost gone off at Radion. That was a huge snap in the middle, up the hill, and now he's under real pressure from Luke Davies. He's going to be attacking Tim Den Heijer as well. Is Davies going to try and get both of them? Wessels to the outside. There's contact between the two. Den Heijer and Wessels off the circuit. Luke Davies goes through. Wessels tried round the outside on Den Heijer. It didn't work. He didn't leave enough space. He didn't calculate where he had to turn in, and he's tapped the outside front left wheel from Tim Den Heijer. Luke Davies has the seas open up in front of him, and now Yuri Wessels and Tim Den Heijer go spinning down the grid. Den Heijer in 10th, believe he's some front wing damage. Wessels in 13th. That's not worked out well for either of them.
Yeah, just a poorly executed move from Yuri. Tried to go for the outside, but just ended up turning literally into the wheel. and that's when sending both round. I think Sam.
That's Sam Crumpton round. That is Sam Crumpton round. He has not had a good day at the office here in Spa. Sam Crumpton of AlphaTauri is not performing so far in this Belgian Grand Prix. Neither is Habib McCook. They've both fallen off the back. Davies has got about a tenth of a second. He now is a man on a mission to try and catch Liam Carrick up the front. Gobadi not looking too far off Lewis McWilliam now. Maybe just working with the Scotsman a little bit to try and conserve fuel, save the tyres, and maybe put in a good last stint. He has locked the front there in towards La Source and wiggling on exit. So that Alpine not looking too steady. Yellow flag. What is that for? Is that Wessels who's gone round?
Yeah, it's Wessels, I think.
Oh, it is Wessels who's gone round. Early stop, or not an early stop, probably a scheduled stop for Albert. Up the top, Gobadi. Here he is. This is going to be a leader change. McWilliam with a late move. Gobadi to the outside, and he's got to get this one stopped. Surely does McWilliam keep it up the inside? No, he doesn't. Avesta Gobadi gets the job done. Hernandez past Bune. Juan Hernandez says he's taken the advantage of Luke Davies just breaking that toe a little bit on Borbune to get past the Dutchman. Gobadi now leads the Belgian Grand Prix. The man who started on pole position, Brendan just looks to the sky. It's getting a bit dull here in the Ardennes Forest. Oh, Gobadi almost getting a little bit slidey and almost hitting the wall.
Yeah, I suppose the best will be he's had a few wobbles and saw one early on at the start of the Grand Prix, but that may have been just cold tyres. However, it does seem like there is definitely just a little bit of a wobble there in terms of the setup. So we'd be hoping that doesn't end up costing him this win. Although at the moment he is in the position to win it. And I believe that's the round again, so it's
unfortunate.
Not. It seems to me if you spin once today, it's just not going to. You're probably in for a little bit more pain. Oh well.
Davis has gone round again. Sam Davis is in the wall, and the Dutchman's not had a great race here in Belgium, I think it's safe to say. McWilliam, if he finished in second position, would not be a bad look for him. As you can see, championship standings before we headed to Belgium, it was McWilliam who leads with 73 points over Liam Houseman, who's currently only getting 2 on 56. Thomas Main is in 8th position and has just been... Oh no, Thomas Main is round! Just as we said that, Thomas Main is round. The Belgian is really not having a good day at the office. Lewis McWilliam is now attacking Avesta Gobadi and trying to return the favour. Here he goes. Is this going to be an easy move for Lewis McWilliam? I believe it is, as he gets passed in towards Lake Home. Gobadi can't really do much about it.
I don't think Gobadi was fighting that one, to be honest. I don't think McWilliam really fought that much last time either. I think these two know better to just let things happen and wait until maybe that last couple laps before going for anything, because well, if you just fight on early on here, all you're going to do is hand Carrick the win.
Yellow flag. That is Sam Davis once again. Unfortunate. It is getting really dull here though in Belgium, Brendan. It is getting very, very dull. Wonder, is there rain on the horizon?
I think I'm going to do... Yep, there is. I can confirm. I have checked the stream of the driver and...
Would it be Kyle Albert by any chance?
Yes, I did check that one.
We love Kyle. Rain is imminent here in the Ardennes Forest. Of course, a controversial race, normally in Formula Virtual Racing, in F1 as well, race in 2003 that was cancelled due to a ban on tobacco advertising, and it was cancelled in 2006 for repairs. It was cancelled in 1969 from 1979 due to safety issues. No safety issues here unless you have some lag, which Luke Davies had very bad lag in Formula Virtual Racing Academy last night, folks. It was awful. Sam Davis becomes the first retirement, and Mr. Gobadi having a snap out of turn number 1 again. Maybe Liam Carrick could start putting a bit of pressure on the Ukrainian because he's not running too well up the top.
He doesn't have enough ERS to actually go for anything here though. That's the problem. Carrick is hanging on here, but probably just by using that DRS and getting pretty much a double toe.
Oh, yellow flag. That's Borbune. Oh no, it's not. It's Sam Davis's AI car, apologies. Just saw the Haas off at the Rouge. Borbune does actually get passed by Kieran Spears though, so Kieran Spears is rifling up the field. Does have a 3-second time penalty. As we can see, the highest gainer so far in this race, it is Juan Hernandez, El Villano, in 5th position. The Spaniard, maybe this is Juan's piece of luck if a bit of rain comes, usually pretty handy in wet conditions. As Brendan, I think I might be onto something. It has now started to rain here in Belgium. The rain is down. There was a few droplets certainly in Juan Hernandez's region of the circuit. Of course, here in Spa we can get different sectors having different weather conditions, but there is rain.
And we already have an Inter scambler. It is Adrian Taishi.
Oh wow, that's early. That's really early. That is.
I suppose when it comes down in Spa, it does come down.
Very true. Very true. We could get the situation maybe like we did have in Season 6, where the drivers didn't know what tyres to be on. We'd have to field on Inters and have to field on wets. Leaders will stay out. The only problem here is that's a yellow flag. That's actually not for Adrian Taishi. That's for his teammate Kyle Albert, who's gone round. So that's actually not for Taishi. Taishi on the Inters is not doing too badly. It's not Inter's conditions yet. It's a complete another gamble from Adrian Taishi. It definitely is not Inter conditions yet. Liam Houseman gets past Borbune as Borbune is in. So Borbune's our second gambler. Here he enters the pit lane. His teammate has just left the session. That yellow flag is once again for Albert, and Bune has gone for the intermediates. He's tried something different. The leaders seem okay, as Sylvester Gobadi is going to be the new leader here. DRS has just been disabled. It is now definitely wet conditions, as confirmed by the FIA. And Liam Houseman, that's actually lapping Seb Millsy. Not Liam Houseman, Liam Carrick, apologies. I don't know why I keep making that mistake. But that is Seb Mills actually about to go a lap down. He will regain that lap when these leaders do pit for the intermediate compounded tyres. It is now raining. Rain is here. It is here to stay by the looks of things. And this race has just got a whole lot interesting because the top 7 are all on slicks. The rest of the field, apart from Kyle Albert, who hasn't made it to the pit lane yet, are all on the intermediates. Good call in the end, or in hindsight, from Adrian Taishi. However, he has still lost 4 seconds.
Yep, did lose a bit of time, but should be gaining that back now, really. Especially as it's got into up the temperature.
Oh, Dan Schaefer's has actually just got out in front, but he'll have the temperature. Here comes Taishi. This is going to be a move into Roll Rouge, maybe, for Adrian Taishi. Up the inside. Beautiful stuff from the Canadian.
A bit wide.
Oh, does run a bit wide, does cut the corner. Dan Schaefer's is going to get the position back maybe here. The Red Bullman, wheel banging almost with the Williams. Taishi got to tuck into the slipstream. Being a Canadian, he is pretty handy in mixed conditions. Now we'll see, are these front runners in? Yes. Gobadi in, Carrick in. Surely you have to pit at this point, Brendan. It is most certainly a wet track.
Yeah, you see some of them just need to get into the pits now at this point. Just don't do anything stupid.
William
on it.
Inters, Gobadi Inters. Presume everyone's going to be on the Inters. There's no chance they're going to chance full wets. Borbune then is heading through the final corner on the intermediate compound of tyres. There's certainly going to be at least a position or two in this one for the Dutchman. Of course, the exit out onto the pit lane is much, much shorter. You can see there's all these guys coming out. Borbune's going to have the run on Kieran Spears, that's for sure. He's past Spears, might have the run on Hernandez. Last Inters race we really had, or a full Inters race, was ended up in a collision with Borbune and Juan Hernandez. Borbune now, he's being slipstreamed by Spears up the hill. Kieran Spears has had a good exit out of the pit lane, and here comes the McLaren attacking the Haasman. Borbune under real pressure now from the Brit, but he's going to survive, and Borbune will stay in 6th position, so he's got a spot which makes the gamble probably all worth it for Borbune.
Yep, and again is a gain, and Borbune should very much know that. He's made it. He's a FVR career I could be about just gaining places where he can, and so that's why he's been able to have such a point streak around season 6 and season 7.
Oh, Gobadi off. Gobadi really off. Oh my goodness me. Leader changes. Lewis McWilliam picks up the spot due to Sylvester Gobadi having a huge mistake through Pujon. The Alpine has run very wide and now finds himself behind the Scotsman. I think this race is really going to be a question of who's better in the wet, McWilliam or Gobadi. I'll tell you this for free, folks. The best man in the wet out of these three is Liam Angelo Carrick. Keep an eye on him. He is very good in intermediate conditions. Took pole in Silverstone in the wet. Took his first podium in the wet in Paul Ricard. Yellow flag, that is for Dan Schaefer's, who has gone off. And Brendan, I believe your little was because of McWilliam's slide. That was a big one.
Yep, it was. And then a scary moment, and it will be for any driver there, if you're just coming out of that corner and you start to feel something just a little bit off, you know, there's a good chance that there'll be some proper trouble for you. And well, William be thanking himself that there wasn't any. The key now for Kabaddi is, can he use that extra bit of ERS here to maybe make a pass that's somebody...
Schaefer's gone again. No safety car yet, still only the one retirement. That was Sam Davis's. Carrick picked up 3 seconds. That could be race winning chance gone. He has gained 0.2 of a second on Gobadi and McWilliam, but that's unfortunate for Liam Carrick. Not Liam Houseman, like I've been saying the entire afternoon. Speaking of the devil, he's now attacking the Belgian of Thomas Main. The Netherlands versus Belgium, a rivalry that has certainly come to the forefront in recent history, in I suppose a sporting context. Certainly in football anyways, not really in Formula 1. Van Dorn was never really on the level of Liam Houseman. Formula E, he's been battling with likes of Nick de Vries and Robin Freitz. So I suppose you could say from that context, certainly yes, but nevertheless, let's get away from my waffling and back up to the front. It's 0.7 of a second, so it looks like McWilliam and Gobadi pretty much matching each other at this point.
Yeah, I'm just getting settled into these conditions. Does take a lap or two maybe, just to transition from dry weather driving to wet weather driving, so now it should be all fine. And the case now is maybe as to who has less mistakes in them. Whether McWilliam has another slide like that, or Vesta has an off-road experience like he did just after on pretty much the outlap on intermediates. In the case of which one might pop up more often, or even in just a bigger fashion.
Very true. If Vesta Gobadi was to win this race, it would be truly something. As I did almost accidentally just close my Google, folks. That would have been a bit of a disaster because everything would have just gone off air. But Vesta Gobadi is looking to win this race. It would be his 3rd Formula Virtual Racing victory. Last win came in Spain, of course, in Season 7. If McWilliam was to win this one, this would be his 10th race victory. He first won, if you're interested, in Paul Ricard. That's Crumpton, who's retired from 2nd position in the pit lane. That's a peculiar one.
Yeah, that is very, very peculiar. But some people will be thankful, as well. Treasure. Gary Watson's now moves up into the points. And his team is now into 11, so he will be first in line if any of these top 10 end up crashing out.
Warmune and Kieran Spears very close on the circuit. Spears almost looking to try and get past the Dutchman as McWilliam picks up a 3-second time penalty. That makes this interesting then, as Lewis McWilliam has a 3 seconds as well. A Vesta Gobadi then, if he picks up one, this makes this really interesting. Luke Davies running a solid 4th, however, he does have the Spaniard of Juan Hernandez behind, and that's a battle I will enjoy when it happens.
I think we'll enjoy, but we hope to just obviously everything just keeps a bit calm. You see, one and Mercedes are, well, they were once all together, but now one and Mercedes are very much 2 separate entities.
Yeah, of course, Juan Hernandez leaving the Mercedes team. He's a good few seasons at Ferrari under his belt now. Won the Constructors' Championship with them and is still current teammate Jake Marsh. No Jake here this evening, which is, I suppose, disappointing for Jake Marsh because he had that brilliant comeback last season in Belgium, qualified in 2nd, spun off the line, pulled a bit of an alternative strategy and came back to a very nice result. But as of now, Jake had a good run of form this season. It's arguably been his best season to date. He's not had many seasons where he's been a championship rival. He's sort of been an assistant to Juan in a constructors context, but he's been very good this season and has been outperforming Juan Hernandez. Juan has never been beaten by a teammate in Formula Virtual Racing. This is really the season where he could do it, but a good result for Juan today would really put him back up there with his teammate in the drivers' standings. 25 points for a victory, 26 for a victory with the fastest lap. Here's Borbune then. Still up the inside of Kieran Spears, still looking to defend it. Can Kieran Spears work something around the outside of Malmety? No, he cannot. Borbune's going to keep the spot. Spears, bit of a slide on exit. But the Dutchman reigns supreme in this battle for P6 here. and he is still ahead. We can see the penalties now. It is 3 for McWilliam, Carrick, Spears, Den Heyer, and Albert. 6 for Wessels, 6 for McCook. It is 9 for Mills and 12 for Schaefer's. Not good to be picking up 12 penalties, or 12 seconds of penalties, as Wessels then picks up 3. And in terms of the fastest lap, the point's going to go to McWilliam, because no one's going to beat that in the wet conditions. Yellow flag, that is for Yuri Wessels, so Yuri Wessels falls out of the points and Tim Den Heyer goes through.
Yep, so now that Tim is a couple of laps now back into points, so it goes even with that spin happening recently. Things have it worked out.
Go Paddy right in the back of McWilliam. Still raining a little bit. Wonder, will the conditions get worse or better? Will we see a run on the wets or the slicks, or will it just be intermediate conditions to the end? McWilliam's run really wide through turn 1. McWilliam has run really wide. Oh, hold on a second. That's a yellow flag. That's a virtual safety car for...
Yeah, Yuri's smashed into the wall of Puhan.
Yuri Wessels in the wall of Puhan. Virtual safety car deployed. McWilliam will be very thankful for it. He was under pressure from Avesta Badi, as they are coming up to some lap traffic. That's Dan Schaefer's and Seb Mills. So it is Alpine, Red Bull, Alpine on the track. However, it is 15th, 16th, 1st and 2nd in terms of the positional standings. And of course, folks, we'd just under the virtual safety car conditions, like to remind you, you can tune into Formula Virtual Racing Academy live every Friday at 20:30 GMT. You can join Jake Scarborough on Friday nights as oh no. Well, of course, you can tune in to Formula Virtual Racing Academy for drama. We've more drama here in Spa. Juan Hernandez has picked up a drive-through time penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. That's heartbreaking for Juan. He's in a good spot here in Belgium, and he's going to fall right down towards his teammate Tim Den Heyer.
Yep, the good news is at least there's a big gap between Houseman and Tim, so Hernandez should be able to fly back into the points. Because he's going to be a bit off where he was.
He is going to be a little bit off, but we still haven't seen a safety car here. We've had a safety car in every single Belgian Grand Prix that Formula Virtual Racing has taken part in. We normally have multiple. They normally also come pretty late on in the proceedings, so don't necessarily rule this the final result as of now. Gobadi is the provisional winner, or he is in the provisional lead, as there is Hernandez in. Luke Davies is pit as well here, Brendan. Why has Luke Davies pulled into the pits?
Maybe he wants to switch the tires. Maybe
did Davies speed as well?
No,
he did. Luke Davies picked up the same penalty. He's not pulled into his box. They've both sped under virtual safety car conditions.
So these two, well, if Hernandez can be quick thinking like he usually is, he might be able to catch Davies here. Although it seems like Davies has been able to get a decent exit out of the pit lane.
That's unfortunate for them, both of them.
Hernandez!
Hernandez off! Juan Hernandez off at the top of Ratillon. He's lucky to be in the race here as the virtual safety cars come out again. Juan Hernandez has to limp back to the pit lane. Virtual safety car deployed. The Spaniard. That's a rare mistake from Juan Hernandez, but it's a crucial one because now he has to head back to the pit lane after serving his penalty.
Oh, this is just not good. Not good at all. He would have nearly been hoping for a full safety car there to come out, because if that happened, he would have been given. He would have been very much in an okay position, and at least he would have actually brought him right back to the pack.
Oh, that's not good for Juan Hernandez. No full safety car, still only a virtual. As Dan Schaefer picks up a drive-through penalty, he's in 14th anyways, unfortunately for Dan. As McWilliam passes some lap traffic. We go racing once again here in the Ardennes Forest. If you're just joining us, welcome along to Formula Virtual Racing. It's been a very interesting Belgian Grand Prix, not been the most dramatic one. That's a yellow flag. Who is that yellow flag for? Was that Liam Houseman? I believe it was Liam Houseman. So the top dogs making a lot of mistakes here in Belgium. Is there another twist in this tale? Could we possibly see a very, very, very unlikely winner here in Belgium? As of now, no, but the possibility always remains.
Yep, and so Sylvester's still in the position to win this Grand Prix.
He's made a mistake, however. He was a lot closer to McWilliam. Brendan, I think conditions are getting a little bit worse here. These guys are starting to struggle on the inters.
It is getting a bit worrying. Let's see what Hernandez pits for, because you'd nearly think at this point he'd just take the gamble.
Yeah, we'll see what he pits for. He is in for a full set of wets. Okay, Hernandez is in for the wet. Kieran Spears, though, he does not fear water, because Spears is going to try round the outside for the late-home chicane on Borbune. Oh, Borbune has that covered every day of the week. Borbune has defended twice now into Malmedy corner, and Borbune, he is fighting for this one. He knows there's potential for a very good result. We'll keep an eye upon Hernandez's delta out of the pits to Tim Den Heyer. He's gone for the full wets, and Brendan, I honestly think this is a correct call for Juan Hernandez. These conditions are very, very poor.
Yep, they are getting very, very difficult to manage. So, a lot of these people, you may be thinking the wets might be the better tyre. And if Hernandez starts catching people, then we probably know which tyre is correct, although not that many laps left.
McWilliam running on thin ice with that little bit of a drift. He's caught it well. Hernandez is gaining a lot of time in Den Heyer here, by the way. Some of maybe the bottom of the top 10 will be considering a pit stop. There's not too much spray as of now as McWilliam's all over the road. He has to get into the pits for a full set of wets, I think. I believe this race is going to go to full wet conditions. Is McWilliam in?
No.
Lewis stays out. Avesta stays out. They're not willing to gamble as of now, and they feel the intermediate compound of tyres is the correct one to be on. I'm not so sure. I am not so sure. Borbune carries on, and so does Kieran Spears. Does Thomas Main fancy a gamble? Has a bit of a pit stop gap to Den Heyer. You know, he doesn't pit, but Hernandez, he looks slow, but still gaining time on Tim Den Heyer. Certainly Lewis McWilliam, if he keeps having those wobbles, he is going to go off the road at some point, and he is going to hit the wall and end his race.
Yeah, Hernandez is really starting to reel in some time, but we'll have to see that in the context of the entire grid.
Here comes Kieran Spears again. That's very difficult to run behind the car up Eau Rouge and Radion in these conditions. Oh, Kyle Albert's out of the Grand Prix at Eau Rouge. Could get a safety car here at the wrong time for Kieran Spears. We're under safety car conditions. Borbune just about holds a spot to Kieran Spears. I said, folks, that we normally get late safety cars around Spa. We have got a late safety car around Spa. Albert has hit the wall at Eau Rouge. Now, Brendan, this is a real difficult position to be in if you're Lewis McWilliam. Inters are full wets. Tim Den Heyer's in for wets. So's Adrian Taisha. Who's going to take the gamble and maybe stay out on the inters, and who's going to take the gamble and pit for wets?
Well, the thing is, likes of McWilliam, you're in trouble now, because that penalty is going to have a bit more of an effect than it was going to. You're going to maybe drop to second or worse and extend your championship lead. But now you're risking a few more people getting up within that 3-second window. So I say he might be thinking, maybe take a pit stop and just make up time where I can. Or you could have the other opposite kind of mindset and think, look, I'm going to stay out, control this race from the front, and see if I can start pulling a gap.
Let's see what Lewis McWilliam does here. A reminder, folks, on your screen now of the championship standings, so we'll keep them there for a second. Let's see them.
So, McWilliam, he is staying out.
Gobadi's in. Oh, this gets a lot more interesting. Carrick stays out. Gobadi is in. What's Borbune going to do? Borbune's normally fairly clued on in terms of strategy. And he stays out. So does Spears. What about Thomas Main? So that's a Red Bull in front. That's Dan Schaefer's who's ran off. And Thomas Main is into the pit lane. So is the man behind him, which I believe is Dan Schaefer's. Houseman's in. So is Davies. So Mercedes will have a double stack. This gets a lot more interesting. This really does get very, very interesting here in Spa.
Let's see, is Hernandez going to make up a place on anyone here? I don't think so. But he might, he'll definitely be a bit closer now. So, oh, he's in. Hernandez is in. Is he going to be the opposite Gamble?
Houseman's gone for a new set of intermediates. Brendan, this is season 6 all over again. They don't know what tyres to be on.
Well, I think they know which kind of tires they want this time. But, well, yeah, they are still on
gone for Inters. I don't believe it. It's happening again. Half the grid has gone for the wets. The other half has stuck with the Inters. The man who initially pit for the wets has re-pitted for the intermediates after everyone else has followed him.
Either that is the greatest pump fake by one Hernandez I have ever seen, or he's managed to pump fake himself.
Well. This has gotten a whole lot interesting in Belgium, because our top 4 are on Inters, the next 3 are on wets. However, 3 of the top 4 have penalties, and I can't believe I'm saying this on lap 18 of the Belgian Grand Prix. The man who'd currently pick up 25 points is Bourbion.
What?
He's in race-winning position.
And you don't know, Bourbion usually doesn't let these opportunities go. So,
He makes the most of them. Bourbion was very good in the wet Albert Park as well. I'd like to remind you, last season he did finish on the podium that day, but due to penalty removals and penalties and all this, he did end up losing it. He's never finished on the podium before in the virtual racing, has Bourbion. He would certainly love to do it here. He's been oh so close on so many occasions, and he'd love to be the 45th FVR pole or FVR podium sitter. And at his name, we haven't had a new podium sitter since Niall Kerrin in Miami of last season.
Well, you don't know. We're having some new podium sitters here very soon. Although the way conditions are, this is anyone's game, really.
We've only had 6 new I'm just looking at the statistics here. We've only had 6.
What? I may ask, what is Juan Hernandez cooking? Because I am not sure.
Juan, what are you doing? Juan's probably going to go for a set of slicks now. Let's have a look and see what tyres he's going for. If he's going back for the wets, I don't know what he's on. Yeah, he's gone back for the wets. Juan, that's a howler. That's an absolute howler.
Is it genuinely not sure what he's losing here?
Well, he's going to lose a spot to Habib Makouk, who's on the intermediates. So Juan has pulled... No, he's not actually, sorry. He's come out ahead of Makouk. Juan's pulled the quadruple bluff on himself, and it's quite fitting that he's in a Scuderia Ferrari while he's doing it.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the plan is, but, well, I suppose we'll let him cook. Whether this cooking is going to be majestic 5-star, or it's going to be burned out, or pretty much crashing into a wall and burning, it's a whole other story. But on the other hand, these people on the Inters, will they be managing this? Although it does seem to be getting a little bit easier.
It does seem to be. I really don't know. I'm just as confused as these guys are. The luxury for me and Brendan is we get to talk over this, as Williams almost been in the safety car. We get to talk about all this. These guys have to figure it out if they want to try and fight for the Formula Virtual Racing Championship, which will be in at the end of this lap. The safety car usually pits in between Campus and Stavlo, or apologies, Stavlo and turn 16. Campus is turn number 40. It's about here. And there it is, right on cue. Safety car is in this lap. We'll have lap 20, lap 21, and lap 22. No DRS, of course, as it is wet conditions. Let's see.
Yeah, that is the one benefit here. But I said Lewis and they are not going to have to worry about being DRS'd on maybe the last lap event, but even still, you've got time to just driving in these wet conditions, you don't know what could happen.
The weird thing about this is, The top 4 are all on old tyres, and the 3 behind them are on fairly fresh ones. And usually we say that the newer the tyre the better, but in this scenario we do not know. As we go racing, once again in form of virtual racing, in a Belgian Grand Prix where nobody quite knows what's going on. McWilliam, however, has got an absolute brilliant restart. It's a bit slow behind as Kieran Spears and Avesta Gobadi both get runs on Borbune. So Gobadi now in race-winning position. He's up the inside of Spears. The wet tyres. There's contact between the 2. There's contact between the 3. Borbune involved. Gobadi then is in 3rd position. McWilliam has flew away up the top. Lewis McWilliam, it seems to be the intermediate conditions. They both seem to be about as good as each other. Side by side through Eau Rouge in the full wet conditions. Goes to Belgium at Thomas Main.
Gobadi's up to
Spears goes off the circuit. Gobadi's up to 2nd. Avesta Gobadi is in race-winning position here. Can Carrick maybe fight him back? The wet tyres definitely seem the better, unless your name is Lewis McWilliam, who's gone away at the front. Bit of a wobble for Borbune through the corners. The Inters don't look like the correct call at this point. Kieran Spears trying to hang it around the outside. Adrian Taisha and Juan Hernandez both on the wet compounded tyres battling here, and Hernandez tries to hang it around the outside, but Taisha is fighting for these points with all that he possibly has. Luke Davies has got past Kieran Spears. Thomas Main has got past Borbune. Avesta Gobadi is right on the back of Lewis McWilliam, and I believe Gobadi's going to win this one unless something truly dramatic happens to him while trying to overtake the Scotsman in front. McWilliam tries to defend as we head down towards Campus Corner, but Avesta Gobadi just has way too much traction and way too much speed. There's a big crash in the background. Main and Carrick into the wall. Thomas Main's out of his home Grand Prix. Liam Carrick's not going to score points and sits in the wall. Huge collision between those two. Really don't know what happened. They both went veering off the circuit. It's unbelievable circumstances here, as it looks like Tim Denhyer and Juan Hernandez are pressuring Kieran Spears. The wet tyres are the better. All the Inters runners has filtered down to the bottom. Denhyer's almost taken out his teammate. The 2 Scuderia Ferraris are side by side in towards Blanchimont. Hernandez has got that one done. Denhyer just ran way too wide. The gap at the front is 1.6 seconds. Avesta Gobadi just has to drive this one home. He really does have to drive it home. Alfa Romeo, in what looked like they could possibly challenge for the constructors, have had a terrible race. Seb Mills has not obeyed yellow flag, or blue flags, apologies, at all here, so he will probably pick up a penalty for that. He's currently inside Luke Davies, so Seb Mills once again not reading the rules and regulations. His teammate, however, 2.4 up the top now. McWilliam is just trying to hold on. As of now, he will lose a spot to Luke Davies, and maybe even Juan Hernandez. Juan pit multiple times under the safety car. He was right down the foot of the grid, and he's now up to 4th position. So Juan really proving excellent. Adrian Taisha's got past Denhyer in the wall at the top of Ratillon. He's lost it, and he's lost maybe points here because he's no front wing, and he has to make it back round the lap. He may still get 10th because Liam Carrick is into the pit lane. Gap between the top 2 now is 3 seconds. Only a mistake from Avesta Gobadi would bring a new winner.
Yeah, it's very much good for Avesta here. I think this win was due for him at some point, so it is good to see these. Oh, is it McWilliam?
Yeah, he's had a snap there. He's had a snap in front of Davies. He's under a lot of pressure, not because of Luke Davies is doing, because of purely how bad these intermediate tyres are in these conditions. Luke Davies is on the better compound, and of course he just has to sit behind. Unless he plans on catching 4 seconds in a lap, he already has P2 in the bag, although he could do with getting past McWilliam on circuit just in case that penalty isn't removable, or is removable, apologies. That's a lap car. That's Mills in the wall round. That's the Alpine of Seb Mills in the wall. I suppose that's one way to obey blue flags. Well, that is him in the wall. Juan Hernandez as of now will be trying to look to get within Lewis McWilliam's 3-second margin, just to keep with him. Braking for the bus stop chicane. We're about to start the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. Luke Davies is hounding Lewis McWilliam to try and take 2nd position. Avesta Gobadi leads the race by 5 seconds almost. This is an unbelievable performance from Gobadi since the safety car restart. Who gets the better exit? Surely it's Luke Davies. He has to have more traction at this point. Although McWilliam just bolts away. It's ultra impressive from McWilliam. He's been him and Kieran Spears are the only 2 consistent intermediate runners. The rest have all had terrible restarts and have all fallen to the back. Borbune, who was in provisional race winning position at one point. He's now 8th and 3.7 behind Habib McCook. In toward the Lacombe chicane. Davies not nearly close enough. He's only lapping 2.3 seconds off his PB. Or apologies, he's 2.3 seconds off the first sector. That's it's not too bad considering it is a run up a straight, but we're lapping considerably slower, and McWilliam will still take some excellent points here because he does have that fastest lap. That's Dan Schaefer's, who's close to disqualification almost at this point here. He has picked up another penalty. 5.6 then the gap up the top, and you gotta feel there's nothing stopping Gobadi now. He's even coasting.
Yep, there's no need to be going home for it when you already have that prize in your grasp. It's just about making sure it doesn't fall out and be thrown to the next person. So it looks like 5.6 seconds. It's looking very good for Avesta, although I think this really is easing up a little now. McWilliam might be saved here a little.
It is definitely easing up because Avesta Gobadi is on the home stretch here in Belgium, heading through Blanchimont and turn 18 and then in towards the bus stop chicane for the final time. Avesta Gobadi, it's been an absolute unbelievable performance, and for the first time since Season 7, the Ukrainian will taste that sweet champagne on the top of the podium. He's reigned in the Ardennes, and Gobadi wins here in Belgium. McWilliam's going to come home in second. He'll lose it due to a penalty count, but it was a great performance from McWilliam on the intermediates. Davies will finish second. Third will be Juan Hernandez. He's really come back from the depths of hell here. Juan Hernandez. Adrian Teicher will get his best result in a long time. P5 for Williams. What a result for Adrian Teicher. Kieran Spears 6th, Borbune 7. Habib McCook has come home 8th, picking up points for Alvateri. Houseman in 9th. It's not the result he would have wanted. Den Heyer will come home in 10th, and then it'll be Carrigan 11th. Schaefer's in 12th, and then Mills will come home in 13th. We are just waiting on Liam Carrick. But Avesta Gobadi wins in Belgium.
That was a very exciting into the race, but oh well. Millsey's now doing donuts. So, I suppose congratulations for whatever you do feel you've done, but hopefully we want to get this finished now.
As said Mills, I don't know why he's celebrating, but Avesta Gobadi, what a performance from him. It was Lewis McWilliam. Just look how close he was to finishing on the podium. Hernandez, he made that one very, very close.
Yep, it did lighten up toward right in the end there, and that's why Williams was able to start pulling away a bit.
There it is then, folks. The Belgian Grand Prix. It was very, very interesting. I will say that. Your in-game driver of the day goes to Juan Hernandez. Juan, of course, didn't get a lap in qualifying, and he's now standing on the podium. That's quite impressive from the Spaniard. As now we are just waiting on the podium here, folks. And Avesta Gobadi will stand on the top.
Be interesting to see how this affects the championship now.
Will be interesting to see how this affects the championship. Avesta Gobadi is going to join us for a post-race interview. Stick around, folks. We do have post-race interviews, of course. After this, we will be interviewing our top three. Avesta Gobadi wins the Belgian Grand Prix with a race time of 44 minutes and 49 seconds. Luke Davies finishes in second, followed by Juan Hernandez, Lewis McWilliam, Adrian Teicher, Kieran Spears, Borbune, Habib McCook, Liam Houseman, Tim Den Heyer, Liam Angelo Carrick, Dan Shavers and Seb Mills. Your non-finishers were Thomas Main, Kyle Albert, Yuri Wessel, Sam Crumpton and Sam Davison. Brendan, who wins the Memo Safety Award?
I suppose. Oh, let's see here. Actually, it's Adrian, who was very much some clean battles, especially with Juan Hernandez, and was able to slip through for a P5. So we give it to him.
Well, a very, very interesting race, folks. We'll try and get the top 3 in for some post-race interviews. As do we have Vestigo Birdie with us now? I will check. No, he's not joined just yet, folks. But Brendan, this is going to be really interesting in terms of the championship. Is this now Lewis McWilliams' title to lose?
I think you very much you will be thinking now this is would be his opportunity. But even then, it's not as if he's going to have it easy. Avesta's now put himself back in there somewhat. Obviously, Liam Houseman has dropped out a little. Luke Davies has been able to gain some points. I think, yeah, it is his to lose, but it isn't one, not by a long stretch.
It's not one by a long stretch. We are going to get our post-race interviews underway just now, folks. We're going to have Luke Davies joining us. Hello, Luke. Are you here with us? Can you hear us? Hello, Luke. You're on mute.
Hello, hello.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. Well, Luke, welcome along. Congratulations once again on a podium. It's your second consecutive podium here in Spa-Francorchamps. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, it was really crazy. I mean, I thought I was going to be on for a really low qualifying position for the season, like 7th or something. And then Thomas managed to have me and gave me a bit of a turn. I managed to get 3rd by like a 10th over 3 other drivers, so that was good. Race was going well, but the VSC, the Delta, was crazy. I was like a 2nd up on the Delta, and then go into a corner, and bam, I'm negative. So I got drive through, and I thought the race was done. But then safety car came out, and pit for wets with Thomas, and then we saw what happened to Thomas. He had a bit of contact, but yeah, I'm happy with the strategy, and managed to get a 10th podium in FVR. So it's just pretty decent.
Well, Luke, you're a little bit off in terms of the championship. Came into this race probably on the back foot. Do you feel maybe you can have a bit of a charge? It's a bit of a gap to Lewis McWilliams now. You did outscore him today, so it's some points gained on him, certainly. Do you feel that maybe there is still something in this season for you?
I think, I mean, you can never know. I mean, you can look what happened back to season 6, and if you get, 2 wins on the bounce and your rivals score low, anything can happen. So I don't want to rule anything out, but I think I just got to keep my hopes realistic for the time being. So take it race by race.
And going into next race, of course, we head to Suzuka. What will you be looking forward to? Is it a track you like? And do you feel that Mercedes can pick up a good result in the Japanese hills?
From what I've driven, I feel pretty okay on that track, but better than Spa. But yeah, I think it'll be a good one. I haven't driven many hours on it, but we'll see what happens in the weekend, and hopefully can get another podium.
Brendan, any questions from yourself?
Just asking, you did mention Thomas going out, so you were behind him. Could you maybe describe what exactly did happen, or what you kind of saw?
So was it? Is that were you talking about qualifying, or were you talking about the race?
Rather. No, more the race. If you could say what did happen there.
So yeah, I think he was trying to. I need to get a better look on it, so obviously I don't want to say anything if it's wrong. But he was trying to go around the outside of Liam, who was on Inters, Liam Carrick, and he was obviously on the full wets. And I think there's just a bit of contact, and they just speed into the right-hand wall. So yeah, just unfortunate. But I need to look at it again before I can say whose fault it was. So
yeah. Thank you for that.
Well, Luke, yeah, thank you very much for that. We shall let you go. We're going to have our race winner joining us. Don't believe we're going to get Juan Hernandez in because he doesn't like reading his messages anymore, folks. But we're going to bring Avesta Gobardi in now. Luke, thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on P3.
Thank you very much.
Now, folks, we do have Avesta Gobadi with us. Avesta, can you hear us? You are on mute, just in case you didn't know. Still on mute, unfortunately.
Hello, Vesta. You do realize you are on mute? I think he's knocked himself off it, though, so...
Oh,
Yeah.
Hello, Avesta. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Congratulations on the win. You've now taken your third Formula Virtual Racing win, first since last season. It was a very interesting race throughout with the strategy and everything, but how was it from your perspective? Because you really nailed it right at the end when you had to.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's been a while I didn't win. It's been a while I didn't taste victory, but luckily it paid off with the strategy at the end, going for the wets, because it was getting wet really, really fast, so I knew it wouldn't be getting drier. So intermediates wasn't the tires to go, and yeah, I just didn't make any mistakes and kept it clean, no time penalties, and with the setup definitely paid off. So I'm very happy, and I'm very happy to do it in Belgium, which is in one of my best tracks. So this is a very good reminder that I'm still in the championship fight. So let's push.
You're definitely back in the championship fight now. That puts you right up there. You've overtaken a lot of the guys who were in front of you. We had Lewis with us last week, of course, in Singapore, and he said you're one of the main guys who could beat him. Do you believe that's true? Do you believe you can still win the championship?
Definitely. Obviously, I can win, but there are some issues that I can't control with the internet and the connection. But as today showed, when I have the internet and I have no issues, no unlucky moments, I'm definitely there to win.
Brandon, any questions from yourself?
Just want to ask, obviously, next up the tracks around Japan, China, Silverstone. Would you say that some of them tracks would be in your favour in terms of the pace, or would you be maybe looking towards some other tracks, maybe Damage Invitation, the tracks I mentioned?
Well, Japan is definitely Damage Invitation, and I think China too. It's the track that I didn't drive a lot, and I didn't have many league races there, but I'll practice a lot. I'll do my best, as always. But I'm definitely looking forward for Silverstone. And let's just see how it goes.
Well, Avesta, we shall let you go. Congratulations once again on what was a fabulous victory in Spa, and we do hope to chat you again in these post-race interviews very, very soon.
I hope so too. Thank you.
Well, folks, that just about rounds us off here in Formula Virtual Racing, and that was, of course, Luke Davies and Avesta Gobadi, who we heard from there. And, ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you did not hear, we do head to Suzuka next week for the Japanese Grand Prix. What a race it'll be. Make sure to tune into Formula Virtual Racing Academy next Friday around Suzuka. Bound to be a cracker there, as a track that springs up a lot of surprises. And once again, tune into us here at 19:30 GMT on Saturday evenings. It's a fabulous race always around this circuit like Suzuka. My name's been Evans Alton. I was joined by Brendan. Stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next time.